Hello and welcome back. Today we are taking a look at Mattel's Jurassic Park Tyrannosaurus Rex Off-Road Tracker Pack. So I believe this is part of Mattel's Jurassic Park 93 classic line of toys based on the characters and dinos which appeared in that film. Now, the bit I'm not too sure on is if this is supposed to be feeding into the nostalgia of the 93 film, or if it's just donated to differentiate it between the Jurassic World's line. The bit which confuses me, I think, is that 93 classic bit. If it was just labelled as Jurassic Park, this toy line would be fine. You'd know it's from the Jurassic Park film, and it represents the characters and dinos and everything else which appeared in that film. That 93 bit kind of says to me that it's trying to feed into the nostalgia of the film for collectors and things like that. And from a collector's side, this is a bit of a weirder toy line, because while we get characters and dinos that appeared in that 93 film, they aren't reflective of the Kenner toys. So now I understand, obviously Kenner is now part of Hasbro and they're different companies, etc, etc, etc. However, with the original off-road Jeep, the original 93 toy had a missile launcher and it had an extending seat with a dino catcher and everything else, where this is just a plain old car. We get Ray Arnold, who obviously had nothing to do with this scene either, and the dino's colour schemes don't match that of the dino as he appeared in the film either. So feeding off that nostalgia thing, it doesn't quite line up for me. But equally, I can see how this is aimed solely as a Jurassic Park line, and it's aimed at kids as well, which is another key thing to remember. It's aimed at kids. So for me, I feel this is just a kid's toy, and donating it as a 93 classics, not really essential, because it kind of feeds into a nostalgia which isn't reflective of what those who were children who grew up with the 93 film had as part of a toy line, if that makes sense. But anyway, that's just my comments on the nostalgia side of it. As for the set itself, it comes in a window box packaging. The packaging's done in that red and yellow sunset with the silhouettes of the jungle, which is very nostalgic and very reminiscent of that Kenner toy line. We get the Jurassic Park logo. We get details of what this is. So it's the Tyrannosaurus Rex Off-Road Tracker Pack. From the window box packaging, we can see that we get T-Rex, we get the off-road Jeep, and we get Ray Arnold as a figure. On top is part of that window box and a summary again of the name of the pack. The sides just give us that classic logo. Underneath is some brief instructions, barcode, and all of the various legal bits. And then on the back we get a photo product shot, which is reasonably well done. It's the background's obviously auto-generated, and it's not, and these have just been photoshopped on top, which is very different from the sort of package shots we used to get with the older toy line, which is a bit of a shame, but this is standard for toys these days. But it confirms that we get Ray Arnold, we get the Tyrannosaurus, gives us a summary of the play features, our figure, there's an ad for that tie-in app, which allows you to scan the QR codes on the dinos. I did take a look at that last night. It's very kid orientated. There's some various kid videos. There's a interactive AR bit with the QR code for the dinos, so you can interact with the dino and things. And then there's a couple of mini games and things like that. It seems entertaining enough for young children, but it's nothing overly special in my opinion. But I'm not the audience for that app. And then we get content summary of our pack here, and confirmation that there is a one-time assembly for the dino. So without further ado, let's get this opened and take a look. So the sides are actually glued down rather than taped, which is interesting. There we go. Get this opened and pulled out. So shove that to one side, and here we get our dino and bits within the insert, which again is done in that infamous 93 Kenner box art with the gate in the background as part of the silhouettes. All the bits and pieces are tied down with these cable ties. And I think, yes, Rexy is also tied down with these lock-in bits which go into the feet. Same with the Jeep. They're easy enough to just unscrew and pull out. While these make for great safety features, the fact that they go into the figure and obviously leave the locking mechanism behind kind of always disappoints me. It just kind of stands out, but it's obviously hidden under the feet, so you're not really going to see it. That's our Rexy out. Our tail needs to come out. Our play accessories. Jeep. Arnold's tied in as well. There we go, that's those bits and pieces taken out. We have our dino, which got some weird leg movements. Immediately noticeable to me is how hollow this figure feels, but maybe it'll feel better once the tail's plugged in. We get our figure and we get our play accessories as well. So let's assemble our and Jeep. So let's assemble our T-Rex. This is supposed to be just a one-time assembly with this plugging into the back. And it is, and once it's in, that is in tight. You can see there immediately it is on a ball joint, which allows for some nice range of movement. Most of the tail's plastic, with the tip being a rubbery plastic. The T-Rex feels very light and hollow. It doesn't necessarily feel like completely cheap plastic, but it does feel very hollow and light. We can see here that his head opens, moves, and is on a ball joint, so we get some swivel and movement there. If you press this button on the back of his neck, which is a very tough and awkward button to press, his jaws do open and snap. Inside you can see that we get sort of flesh tone colours for the inside of the mouth with very rubbery teeth, which are a separate mould to the rest of the dino. Legs will move forward and back, but they have a locking mechanism by the sounds of things. So obviously designed to sort of just stand in the one position. Arms will move up and down. The colour scheme's not bad. When I first saw this colour scheme, I really didn't like it. But every time I see this set, I like it just a little bit more. Obviously, it's not reflective of the T-Rex as it's appeared in any of the Jurassic films. But it's an interesting colour scheme that's definitely growing on me. It's quite a sort of dangerous looking colour scheme, almost wasp-like in its black and its yellows. I like the detailing on the snout with all of the bumps and scales and moulded detail around the eyes. There's plenty of moulded detail throughout the body, which is really, really nice. There's a separate paint tap on the toe claws to give it some added depth. The feet, I've just noticed, are on rotation, so you can move those as you need, but as soon as you move them, they kind of look weird. And I've just realised the legs actually also spread out just a little to allow for some additional movement there, but overall it's kind of designed to just stand in that one position. We get the QR code interactive bit tucked away in here. So you just lift it up and then you get your phone. And the other side has that Jurassic Park logo. Overall, the dinosaur's not too bad. It's definitely growing on me in terms of its colour scheme. I think there's some nice features here in terms of playability. I think some of the individual dinos which have the movement of the tail and then the movement of the ear is a little better. But this does have some added articulation which allows you to really sort of get, oh look, you can get him looking around there, which is a really cool look. Yeah, this dino is really growing on me and I'm glad I got it. So that's our T-Rex. In terms of accessories, he comes with a very, very rubbery snout cover, which comes undone at the clasp here, and then presumably just goes over like so for the capture. And he has, now this is done of a much harder plastic actually. It's quite a solid plastic. It's still bendable, but it's nowhere near as gummy as the snout muzzle. But these just fit round the legs. So the Rex is caught and captured. We then have Ray Arnold, who comes with a trank spear, I guess. I guess it's supposed to be sort of like a tranquilizer spear. I think that's one of the nice features about all of these Jurassic Park, Jurassic World toys, is that they don't come with guns and rocket launchers and all that. Instead, they come with capture gear. So even when, you know, they've got a big gun or a rocket launcher or something like that, it's still aimed as a deterrent weapon rather than a killing weapon. So that's his spear, which is just done in a bronzy gold plastic. It's bendy, but it's still quite a firm plastic. We have Arnold himself, who's got a pair of glasses glued on. The likeness is reasonable. You can look at it and you can go, yeah, that's supposed to be Ray Arnold, but it doesn't really look like Samuel L. Jackson at all. But again, these are kids' toys. They're aimed at younger children, so the likenesses aren't necessarily essential. The kids just need to know that this is supposed to be Arnold and he's got the Jeep to drive. There is some nice detail, even the balding patch at the top, which I think is a fun addition. Articulation wise, it seems to be similar to the other Jurassic Park figures I've seen in the last few days. The head's on sort of a ball joint, so he does get a little up and down. Arms are on those swivels and ball joints, so they get a nice full range of movement there. Elbows, bends and swivels. Waist swivel, legs will go forward, won't go back because of the cut of the body. Swivel at the knees and bend as well. I believe the vest can come off. Yep, so the vest he's got on can come off. And that's him underneath. It's definitely an interesting gear, and I think the gear and his deco is very reminiscent of something we would have gotten in '93. I know we never got a Ray Arnold figure, but I feel if they had done one, something like this would have been what was included. It's very 90s-esque, not only in its paint scheme, but in the molding detail of it being sort of a weird dino protecting vest. And so it does definitely feel like something we might have seen in the original toy line. Now, actually, out of curiosity, so for those curious, so the vest is interchangeable with other figures in this line. Obviously he's got his other waistcoat on at the moment, but if I took that off it would probably be fit and do up. So these are interchangeable throughout, which I think is a fun addition, whether that's intentional or not. Let's just get our Henry Loomis back. Let's put him back where he belongs. So I currently have just a little dino shelf. Ignore the dinos in the white, they're cheap toys which I've spray painted and I'm going to customize in the coming weeks. So there is Arnold. As I said, the likeness isn't great, but you kind of get who the figure's supposed to be. That's a reasonable addition. As for the Jeep itself, it has a couple of locking mechanisms underneath which need to come off. You can see here, this is what I was talking about, the locking mechanisms. You can see them underneath, which kind of always annoy me a little, but it is what it is, and they're underneath, so you're not going to see them. But you get lots of molded detail of the engine and the wheels and everything else under here, which is nice. The wheels are just a hollow plastic. All of this feels like a very lightweight hollow plastic. The side doors open and clasp close with a nice solid clip. There's some peg holders here so I figure it can stand in the back. The steering wheel does turn. There's stickers on this throughout for the various lights and mirrors and things, which I think is a nice touch. It would have been very easy for Mattel to have just left those as unpainted bits, maybe with some molded detail, but they've gone the extra mile and added stickers, which I think is a nice touch. I like the red on this and the way it sort of has that safari pattern into the dust colour. We've got a sticker for Jurassic Park logo. Overall, it's a nice enough looking Jeep. My only real complaint with this is that there isn't necessarily the play features that we saw with that 93 line. The seats don't extend, there's no dino capture, and there's no sort of rocket launcher or anything like that. It's a bit of an odd one because the dino comes with this big capture gear, but there's no way of sort of, say, transporting the dino or storage in the vehicle for that or anything like that. So it's a bit of a weird thing that you almost feel like this should have had some added play features of either being able to transport that equipment or having a way of firing it onto the dino. Even just like a net launch on the back of here, I think would have been a fun addition. Arnold sits in the car and he can get a hold of the steering wheel, which is nice. His accessory can plug onto the side, so there is weapon storage, which is always a bonus. The back wheel is just molded on, or it's glued in rather, sorry should I say, but it's not coming off. It rolls really nicely. So I can see kids having a lot of fun with the dino chasing after it and Arnold trying to get away. Must go faster. Okay, I know that's not the same, but you know what I mean. So overall, I like the set. The colours for the dinos are definitely growing on me. It's a nice addition. I think there's some fun play value here for children. I think the Jeep's nice. I just feel like there could have been just something else to add to that play value. And that's the sort of thing I've noticed with this Jurassic Park or the Jurassic World lines as a whole, is they do these vehicles, but they seem to lack the play features that you might expect with something like this, whether that be something as simple as having a rocket launcher on the back or a net missile or something. And I don't want to sound like an old fuddy-duddy or something, but I do feel they just don't make toys like they used to. You compare this with the Jeep we had as a kid, it's not only smaller, and I haven't seen the other Jeep in 30 years. But it does lack any real solid play features. But nonetheless, I think this is a nice set. I like it well enough. I think it'll look nice enough on display. And I can see children enjoying this as well. I think that is the key thing here. It's a children's toy. It's aimed at kids. And if kids are going to enjoy it, then that is the main thing. And I think they will. So there we have it. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, stay safe and remember, life finds a way.